What is going on, YouTube people? Neo Cards and Comics here. Playing a little news catch up today. We have this PWCC cross CSG cross CGC partnership here for priority grading. This news came out, I believe, on Thursday at basically the same time the PSA eBay news came out. I chose to focus on the PSA eBay news because I actually felt like that was a bigger deal than the PWCC CSG partnership. I've seen a couple different people talk about this. Dustin did a video on it. I've seen a couple other people talk about it. I just don't know how big of a deal this really is in the grand scheme of things. I mean, it's another partnership. That's cool. But I don't know. Let's talk about what they're doing, and you can all tell me what you think. So PWCC, obviously, massive auction house, massive seller, kicked off eBay, went out on their own. Neither here nor there whether they were kicked off justifiably or not. Kicked off for shill bidding, and as we all know, shill bidding still is running rampant on eBay. So, both things can be true. Maybe PWCC was doing something shady, but I still believe that the main reason they were kicked off that platform was because eBay knew they were launching their own auction platform and just said, that's fine, bye. Because as we've seen, how much does eBay really care about shill bidding and non-payers and stuff like that? So, is what it is. But essentially what you'll be able to do is fast track cards through PWCC to CSG. It's $20 to grade them. It's a 10-day turnaround time, and you submit through PWCC. So PWCC is almost kind of acting like a group submitter in this case. So you fill out the paperwork on PWCC's website. They get sent in, and then they get returned directly to PWCC, not you. And then they are immediately, I shouldn't say immediately, they talk about some curation process, but then they are then placed up for auction in the weekly PWCC auction events. On paper, it sounds fine. I don't know if I like the idea of the nebulous timing of when my cards are going to sell, and also not knowing the grades that they are prior to, because once you submit them, that's it. The process has begun. The interesting angle here might be for low end stuff or like low mid. I don't know. I just don't know what the use case for this is. That's the problem I'm having wrapping my head around this, and why I don't know how big of a deal this actually is. Like a super low end card, you need to at least clear $20 to make up for the grading fee, and then whatever you're into the card for. PWCC isn't exactly my go-to for moving low dollar cards. To me, they're more mid-tier to upper tier, not golden level, but the premier auctions, but not the regular weekly auctions. And maybe they're trying to branch into that. So I don't know that low end, I don't know that PWCC weekly auctions is a good place to move low end cards and actually get your money back out of it. Okay. So what if it's something halfway decent? Well, if it's halfway decent, why aren't you just sending it to PSA? Like if it's mid-tier up, Evan Mobley Silver Prism, let's just say, for upcoming product if it ever actually comes out. But like, upper tier, mid-tier, star player, Prism Rookie Silver. You're not sending that to CSG for $20 when you can send it to PSA for $50. The resale value is just not there yet on CSG. Maybe it will be one day. I haven't seen a new slab in hand yet, and I haven't really dug in the comps too much on them, but last that I heard and last that I looked, they were still doing So anything mid-tier, you're still going to send PSA's way, and then if it's kind of in the middle, you're probably just going to send SGC's way. SGC's $30 a card with slightly slower turnaround time than 10 days, but not much slower. SGC's been turning around in 2 to 3 weeks at $30 a card, and SGC 10s outsell CSG 10s. So to me, this is a whole big wait and see. Now, if CSG had competitive resale value, maybe this is a little bit of a different story. I still don't know that I like the idea of sending my card in raw and automatically having it go for sale when A, I don't know what it's graded at, B, I don't know exactly when it's going to go on sale, so maybe it's not timing the market as perfect as I would like it to be. Those are the sorts of things that I kind of have questions for. Now, let's go into let's get the tinfoil out a little bit. I am surprised CSG partnered with PWCC. There's two primary reasons for this. One, CSG has a massive partnership with eBay for authenticating raw cards. Okay? As we discussed earlier, PWCC was very loudly kicked off the eBay platform. Okay? Just a little oddness there. Not saying that businesses don't work with, competitors or whatever. That's not, it happens all the time. It just feels like there'd be some awkward looks every once in a while on a Zoom call here and there, with CSG partnering with eBay's competitor, a smaller competitor, but a competitor, for grading their cards and shipping them directly to them to sell. It's just a little interesting. And then this also comes out the same week that we find out that PSA is going to be the authenticating partner for graded cards, which makes sense. A bulk of the slabs sold on the platform are PSA, but they're going to do them all. So that part seemed a little weird to me. The other part was, and now we're going to go into a little bit more tinfoil hat territory. I'm not going to get into the laundry list of stuff, but let's be honest. PWCC, whether you like them or not, does not necessarily have the cleanest reputation in the sports card or the card world, if you will. Whether it's shill bidding accusations, they were kicked off eBay. Whether you believe that they actually had the smoking gun on them, or if that was more a business maneuver to force their hand sooner by eBay, regardless, it's not a great look. But there's been shill bidding accusations with PWCC forever, which, once again, most of a lot of the sellers on eBay have that problem. So this is not exclusive to PWCC. And then there's just been a bunch of other smoke out there regarding PWCC. Trimming scandals, this, that, and the other thing, once again, allegedly. All sorts of nonsense out there you could do deep dives on with PWCC. This is not the time nor the place to do that. But regardless, there's a little bit of a cloud that comes with them. I am surprised that CSG would want to partner with somebody like that. I have already seen the internet conspiracy theorists going ham on this one with, submit to CSG through PWCC. You're getting tens for days. Another way for PWCC to move their trimmed cards, they could send them to CSG, get tens, and then send them out because they're in cahoots together. Listen, I don't buy into most of the conspiracy theory stuff. I just really don't. But the fact remains, a lot of people do. And those people tend to be very loud in the marketplace. And I have seen, I was scrolling through, I'm in a lot of Facebook groups just to kind of get the vibe. I don't comment very often, if ever. I try to avoid it. But I just like to scroll through and just try to get the vibe of, how are people taking this? Like, what's the general consensus out there? And a lot of people in comments on posts of this were talking about, tinfoil hat brigade stuff with, every conspiracy theory you could think of. Moving trimmed cards, getting special treatment on their cards, a way for PWCC, the bad players at PWCC to get their bad cards graded and they'll get tens automatically. Like I said, the whole playbook was out for Conspiracy Theorist Corner. And once again, I don't know if any of that stuff's true or not. It's just all speculation. But it's just the fact that now becomes attached to CSG/CGC as a company. It's just interesting that they would choose to partner with them. So there's that aspect of that as well. So some people were making this out to be the biggest deal ever. I just don't think that it is. I think this is a pretty small deal in the grand scheme of things. I think the pub around it and the potential backlash around it might cancel out the the positivity on it. I get what CSG is doing. I understand why they would do it. They're just trying to get their slabs in front of as many people as possible and people using them as much as possible to try to make their product more normalized, if that makes sense. The more people see it, touch it, feel it, submit with them, become more comfortable with it, would give them a natural boost up. I also think it's smart with CSG to get the guaranteed work in, if that makes sense. We have talked a lot about grading slowing down as these companies catch up and pricing begins to shift on what it costs to grade and economy down to this, that, and the other thing. The whole, break out the doom and gloom playbook. We've talked about all that stuff. Getting the guaranteed work in, like for CSG, the eBay authenticity side, PSA, they now have that as well with the graded cards. This partnership with PWCC to get cards in the door that way. These alternative avenues to get work in the door that are outside me sitting here and willfully sending them cards to grade on my own, I think is smart by all these companies. And you're seeing the big boys start to leverage their size. CSG isn't necessarily the biggest player in the world. They're probably fourth in the grand scheme of things, at least in regards to resale value. But financially, they are probably second. They have Blackstone behind them. CGC or CCG, the parent company, is a massive company that is well respected in a lot of other places. I don't know that they're as big as collectors. Blackstone as a whole probably is, or is probably much bigger than collectors. But regardless, those are the two that have all the cash and the ability to leverage themselves to other large companies for things like this, which is smart by them from a business perspective. From a card perspective, for us on a day-to-day card perspective, I'm just not sure how much this moves the needle. I don't know. I personally cannot think of a use case right now where I would take advantage of this platform. I'm not saying maybe I'm not the target demographic. I don't know. I could see a case for it. I just don't know that it's for me. Curious, is it for you? Let me know in the comments down below. Smash the like button. Subscribe if you haven't. Catch you guys and girls on the next one. Peace.